Thanks for being here with me today on The Rundown with Ramon. If you weren't here today, what a lonely show it would be. It'd be just me and nobody else. So we're on The Rundown with Ramon. Thank you for joining us with my friend, Ruchi Pinniger of Watch Her Prosper. Ruchi, I hope your day is well. One thing I know that's passionate to you is redefining. What was that? Redefining prosperity.
Prosperity.
Yes,
That's right.
redefining
Redefining.
prosperity. Before we jump into it, though, do take a minute and tell us first a bit about who you are, who you serve, and what is Watch Her Prosper. Then I'll ask you the question. Talk to us.
Of course. Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to be here with you all, with you, Ramon, and all of your viewers. So, redefining prosperity, we're going to talk about. I'm Ruchi Pinniger, as you said, founder, CEO of Watch Her Prosper. So, from money mindset to financial guidance to bookkeeping, all of that fun number stuff, Watch Her Prosper helps our clients to see prosperity in a new way, to have a better handle on their money, and just to have a partner in their numbers.
And I love how you said that partner in their numbers, which is so important. And curious, before we get to the gem of the nugget of today, why did you say partner in their numbers? Why that?
Well, so many of us feel alone in our business, right? So a lot of people start on their own and then just sort of go on that journey. And many people come from the corporate world, and it's so different when you have your own business. So we have found that many of our clients really appreciate and value having a person to run things by, to just go through things, to get what's in their head onto paper, even sometimes, just to see where, if they're tracking the right way. So bringing into their finances a really safe, beautiful, non-judgmental space is what we're all about, and taking a very holistic approach in the numbers, not just in their business numbers, but really looking at it as, how do your business goals align with your personal goals, and how can we help you make that happen?
I love that. Again, we're talking to Ruchi Pinniger of Watch Her Prosper. Check her out at Watch Her Prosper. Let's get with it right now, Ruchi. The new way of defining prosperity. This is your cup of tea, all you. Talk to us. The mic is all yours. Talk to the people.
Oh, absolutely. So, when we think about prosperity, generally we think about money, financial success. But through this work that I've been doing for all of these many years, almost 10 years, what I'm seeing is there is a new way to think about prosperity. It's not just about money. It's not just about the green stuff. So I have these three pillars that I love to talk about. The first is well-being. The second is spirituality. And the third is relationships with both people and money. So just digging deeper into the well-being, right? Just thinking about, when we take care of ourselves, we're showing up differently. So well-being is, what are the things that you love to do? It's not just the sort of eating well, exercising, sleeping well. Those are all, of course, really important. But what brings you joy? What makes you feel prosperous? And so thinking about that. So for me, I sort of say, I love just having a pajama day in bed, binge watching my shows. I love taking my birthday off and like going to the spa and treating myself. I love upgrading.
Question for you, Ruchi. Sorry.
Yeah.
When you celebrate your birthday, is that once a month you celebrate your birthday, 12 times a year, or once a year? I'm just curious, how do you define
Oh, I
celebrating?
love that. Well, for me, once a year, but I take
Go ahead.
lots of time off. I take lots of time off. And that's another thing I love, taking time off with my family. That's one of the things, when you have a business, especially, you have that flexibility. So think about, what are the things that really, truly bring you joy, and do them. And
Okay.
just sort of like, I like people to look back and reflect on, what are the areas in their life that they think that there's something missing, and what are the actions that you can take in those areas. So for well-being, it could just be as simple as getting grounded. And there's so many ways to get grounded. Some of us have nature right outside. So, I live in New York City most of the time. So Central Park is my backyard, and I love just going for beautiful long walks in Central Park. Even if you don't have nature, there's breathing, right? Just taking some deep breaths. We forget to breathe all day. We go, 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 because we're in that type of society. Take a deep breath and just step back. So really just take care of yourself. Okay. So that's the well-being.
Okay.
And when we are grounded and are taking care of ourselves, we're really much more open up to spirituality. So, and I like to think about spirituality in a way that's just very simple. Spirituality to me is just simply the recognition that there is something bigger than us out there, that we are not alone. So whether that's for you, God or universe, or just your higher self, I believe in all, right? So whatever feels right to you, just knowing that is something that's so powerful, knowing that you're not alone, knowing that, you've got this and you're supported. And when you're clear on what you want, the universe or whatever you believe in is there with you. So
Love it.
I love to, Ramon, we walk around with all the chatter in our
Mhm.
minds, right?
I got a lot of chatter. It's like
You
always
got a
like,
lot of chatter. What's the chatter you've got? What are some
uh,
of the things throughout your day?
yeah, well, when I'm on stage, I'll go there, but throughout the day is for sure is that just so much to do, so much to do. Will the business grow? But when I'm on stage, it's that you're not connecting, which, as you know, Ruchi, is a lie. You've seen me speak a number of times, but people don't realize that. But that's in my head. I'm sitting there, the client's smiling, everything's great, but it's
Yeah,
still yapping like a little poodle or whatever
that's
pet you
right.
want.
That's right. And I love that you said that. The time thing is a big one, right? Just there's so much going on. Many of us are managing
Mhm,
businesses, work, family, children, life, friends, homes, whatever
mhm,
it is. And so, I love to just step back. So I created
mhm,
this method, the RIR method is what I call it. Recognize, interrupt, reframe. So
mhm,
this is something that those of you that are here with us can just start. Literally, you get off of this, watching this and you start. So
mhm,
recognizing when you're having negative thoughts and interrupting and obviously stopping and then reframing with something more empowering, something more prosperous. So even Ramon, you gave the example about time. So that's a very common feeling. Time is
mhm.
like we get overwhelmed, right? That to-do list is ever growing and we're like, oh my God, when am I going to do this? So just recognize that feeling, that thought, interrupt, reframe, and just, I am
I love
time.
it.
Everything happens in its perfect time.
I
And
love it.
you almost feel your nervous system regulate when you just reframe and just change that language. And this is something you can use in everything. This is something I see with clients with money. Oh,
Mm,
there's never enough money. There's always bills. There's so much debt. Okay, let's just stop that thought. Recognize it, interrupt it, and reframe. And just a lot of times going to gratitude. I'm so
mm,
grateful that there's always enough money to pay all my bills.
yeah, yeah. The
So
words
just
we speak are important.
the words we speak are
Yeah,
important. What
yeah.
we put out is what we get back. So if you're living and thinking in lack and scarcity, that is what you're calling in. It is like it's very much about the law of attraction,
Mm,
right? We hear that term a lot, but
mhm.
this is a really actionable tip that people can use when they think about the law of attraction.
I love that. So, and did you get to the third one as well, Ruchi? Recap the three redefining success, redefining prosperity. One is,
Yeah. So one is well-being, the
two is,
second is spirituality, and the third, let's talk about, is relationships with people and with money. Okay.
okay.
So when we think about relationships with people, right, they always talk about you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with most with, right? And
Hmm.
that's one of the reasons I love hanging out with Ramon, his
Mutual.
energy, he's amazing. And what he brings to the world, the love and the joy and the connection. And so think about who are you spending your time with? And
Mm,
how are they making you feel? What is the basis of your friendships? What is the basis of your relationships? Are you just gossiping and complaining, or are you lifting each other up, empowering each other? And even looking at the habits, the financial habits of
mm,
those friends, right? Are they living in sort of a lack world? And I don't mean that they have the resources or not. I mean
mm,
how they're living and thinking. Yes,
mhm,
exactly, Ramon.
mhm, mhm,
So who are those people? And just like really just consider that. I'm not telling you to drop all your friends, okay? I'm just saying really consider what it is you want and who you're spending your time with. And then think about your relationship to money. And this is a deeper one. This goes back to our childhoods. We
mm,
all grow up in very different ways. Some of us come from families where they may have parents that were fighting around money
mhm,
all the time. So they think, money's bad, right?
mm,
They sort of equate that fighting with, there's money's bad. It's not safe to have money. So they're sort of living that way. 95% of how we show up is
mhm,
based on our subconscious thoughts. So think about what were you seeing when you were raised? What were you seeing around money? What were you having conversations? Were there healthy relationships within your family around money? So
mm.
that's really, where we would dig deeper.
I love that. Ruchi, when people are listening to us today, and again, we're talking to Ruchi Pinniger of Watch Her Prosper, watchherprosper.com. When people are listening to you and want to do this, definitely reaching out and speaking to you and your team. That's one, watchherprosper.com. But number two, any quick starts to do this, because I'm sure you would agree, maybe you wouldn't, but I'm sure you'd agree, knowing you a bit, that it's not easy work to think different, to a relationship with money and people. You know, that goes back to, I'm 51. I may have to dig back 45 years, talking about
Me too.
taking care of ourselves. Not everybody can do that. Everybody, we're busy. So any quick starts, and again, people reach out to Ruchi Pinniger for these things as well. Watch Her Prosper. But if you're thinking, Ramon, here's one or two things that busy mom, that busy dad, that 18-year-old young adult who's listening to us, anything that they can do themselves just today as they're thinking of this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The first is what we talked about, that RIR method, recognize,
Yes.
interrupt, reframe. You literally can, just take that with you. That doesn't cost anything. You control your thoughts. You create your reality by controlling your thoughts. So, and if people want to go deeper on the redefining prosperity, if they want, they can download. I have a great free workbook, a free resource. Go to iwanttoprosper.com and you can download your free redefining prosperity workbook just to continue on this journey. We give you some great exercises and some food for thought there. And
iwanttoprosper.com. What a
iwanttoprosper.com.
domain. I love it.
Yes,
Wow. Okay.
I thought of you. I know you have lots of
I
domains. I
do.
think of you every time I buy a domain. I really do.
Yeah.
And follow me on Instagram at Watch Her Prosper.
I love it. At Watch Her Prosper on IG. Doesn't cost you a thing. Suck in all of Ruchi's information. And the other what's the other website? That's right.
iwanttoprosper.com.
iwanttoprosper.com. And then that's the best place to go. iwanttoprosper.com. Definitely download those guides. Ruchi Pinniger, anything else I didn't ask you? Again, hopefully we'll be back on the Rundown with Ramon, but anything else that you wanted to say or share before we end this episode with Ruchi Pinniger?
I just want to say I'm so glad to be here. And I just want to remind you, who you've been with money is zero indication of who you're capable of becoming with money. Have a fresh start. Let go of the judgment. And you got this.
I love it. This is the Rundown with Ramon Spotlight with Ruchi Pinniger of Watch Her Prosper.